Yo, what's up, Facebook?
How's
What's
everybody
up? So today we coming
doing?
we coming to you with episode number 3. It is January 18th. Shout out Martin Luther
Yes,
King, you know what I mean?
sir.
Um, and we're gonna just jump into episode 3 today. We're just gonna be kind of talking about kind of Mike's journey and how he got here. We did go ahead and skip yesterday because the
Yeah.
market was closed today, so we want to do it the day before the market opens. So here we are.
Hmm.
Um, so Mike, before we jump into kind of how you got to where you going, um, I just want to know kind of what your thoughts are on how the week went last week.
So last week, man, it was pretty good, except for like Friday. We had that pretty big downswing on Friday. I think my portfolio personally, I'm pretty tech heavy right now. So I think the Nasdaq was down, I don't know, 1.5, 2%. I forgot what it was. So I mean, I lost probably. I think I was down maybe to 1.5, 1.6% on Friday, which kind of took my account value down in general. We had, I think the week started off pretty good, but I think overall, I think I was down last week just a little bit. So we're looking for a bounce back this week coming up into this upcoming week. So it was okay. It was okay, but we want to do better, of course, at all times. How about you, Skip?
Gotcha. Hey, week. As far as me, that my portfolio, we're not gonna talk about that. But as far as the week goes, I mean, it was a perfect week
Yeah,
up until, like you said, like till Friday. Then we got the sell off, but it was actually pretty good. I actually enjoyed the sell off. Things came back
yeah,
to earth a little bit. I actually was satisfied with that. What we call maybe a healthy little
yeah,
pullback. I personally would like to see it continue into
yeah.
next week. Myself, I would like to see the sell off continue into next week.
Makes sense.
But if not, I'll make do what
I
goes
mean,
on.
I
But yeah,
think some of the return to the mean, kind of like revision, like revision back to the mean, back to the average. I think is good. We don't want the we don't. I mean, it's great to have the runoff in the stock prices, and that's great for us, right? If you're doing covered calls, if you're selling puts or whatever you're doing, whatever strategy that you're kind of working with, but just you buying stock outright, going up is great. But I know when the stock just shoots up like it has been, it's hard to get in. It's hard to get a great price to get into. And I think that's what hurts so much is trying to find a good entry price, because it always seems like, well, the entry price is either too high and you're scared of the revision back to the mean. The RSI is too high, and it just seems like the last, I don't know, 6 months or so, the market's been shooting up. But we won't go into too much market detail. Like we said today, we want to talk about kind of our journey to this point. So Skip, so you can go ahead and take it from here.
oh yeah, man. Like we talked about, we're gonna be kind of letting you do the talking
Yeah.
today, as far as what your journey was and how you got
Okay.
to where you are today.
So I'll just kind of talk about myself. If you have any questions or Schizo or X, if you have any questions, just let me know. I'll just kind of stop and inject on that point. But I'll just kind of talk about myself a little bit. Anyways, how y'all doing, good folks? My name is Mike, so just straight up Mike. If y'all don't know. Anyways, I have been in the stock market since around 2012. My parents are immigrants from Nigeria, and they had no knowledge of the stock market. So it's something that I taught myself right after I graduated from college. I graduated like basically 2010, and the first opportunity, once I had paid off some of my bills, I said, well, let me take this opportunity to get into the stock market. Like, just to be blunt with you, like the thing that I knew was, if I see people like Warren Buffett, like all these rich white guys, like all these rich white guys have money because of the stock market, is what I thought when I was younger. So I was like, shoot, if they got money from the stock market, let me get some of that action from the stock market myself. So I started investing in 2012. I did a whole lot of different aspects. I was doing peer-to-peer lending, stock market. I was trying to find real estate ideas, just the whole run the gamut using a service called Betterment.com. And I'll include a link in the description if y'all want to have my referral code, if we can do that. Anyways, I'm gonna get
Shameless
those.
plug. Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. Okay. And you E-Trade League, I got that for you too. But anyways, so we started off in 2012, like I said. Going on from there, I started off with small positions. I think my initial portfolio value, I think when I initially opened my portfolio, I opened it with $500. So I want to say that anybody can open a position, because you can always add additional capital into your account. You don't need $1 million in your stock account to really start to grow. Anyways, I opened up and I was kind of back and forth. I think around 2013 or 2012 or so.
When you say you was back and forth, what do you mean by back and forth between what thing?
No, not I say back and forth. Excuse me. I mean like my account balance was kind of up and down. Is a better way to put it, right? You know, you win some, you lose some. You win some, you lose some, like everybody else does, right? You know, you win, you make 500 here, you lose 500 there. Kind of like that, right? But you know, it overall was a learning experience more than anything else, because I think that knowledge for me is more important than capital. Anyways, going from there, you know, I think around 2012, you know, I read a book. I can't remember the name of the book as I speak, but one lesson that I learned from that book was, you know, buy what you know. And you know, one thing that I think around the time was I know Microsoft. Everybody knows, if you know me, and Microsoft is my boo. That's my bae. You know, that's my main. So from that point, I was like, well, I read buy what you know, and I was like, that makes a lot of sense to me. So I just started buying. I started accumulating Microsoft at that point in time, and I, you know, kept accumulating Microsoft year over year over year, which has been very, very, very profitable over the long term. I think the first position I ever bought Microsoft was 25 shares at $25 a piece. You know, currently Microsoft is worth at $200 a share. Just to kind of give you a little bit of an idea what I was doing at the time. Kind of going from there, you know, we just talked about, kind of going from there, we start adding positions, just things that I would see, you know, reading the fundamentals, reading books like the Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham, which is a really, really good book. It's a really thick book, but it's a really good book to learn. And also another book that I read by Benjamin Graham was I think it was Fundamentals of Stocks or Pricing Fundamentals. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's a really thick book, but it's a really good read that y'all can read. You kind of get understanding of the fundamental, like your foundational knowledge of the stock market, which is very important to understand the fundamentals, like how to kind of read stock, to understand price to earnings, price to sales, price to book, all these ratios, the quick ratio, whatever, all these ratios that you need to understand the kind of earnings of a stock. So that's kind of just the really kind of how I started off, kind of going, you know, and I did that for years, you know, year over year. I think in 2017 and 18, I kind of slowed down the stock market, but I came back in around 18 and continued to buy more and more stock. Going into 2020, excuse me, after the pandemic, let's talk about recently. Into the pandemic, when the pandemic hit, at that point in time, I was able to, sorry about that. When the pandemic hit, you know, right after the pandemic hit, excuse me, I was researching on YouTube about options and the power of options. And I think options for myself was something that I've been trying to get into for years. And I really couldn't understand the grasp. And I just had like a come to Jesus moment for the stock market, where it really told me like what was going on. And then, you know, I started.
Run that back real quick, Mike. Your connection kind of faded out. So right after you said options, it kind of missed everything you said at that point.
No problem. No problem. I was trying to say was around this 2020, right before the pandemic, like right when it was kind of in February of 2020, just to be blunt, I was researching options for the
options, bro. Options is gambling, bro.
Well, and I said that back in 20. So he's laughing because back in 2015, 14,
probably
13,
18,
whatever,
probably 18, 17.
Whatever it was. You know, Schizo hit me up like, Mike, get on these options, and I was like, nah, we good. we good. So I was like, nah. And so Schizo's been doing options for quite some time, if I'm not mistaken. And he was like, run these, Mike, because, you know, I think Schizo understands that I've been an investor for a long time. He's been the same way. We in the same general boat. So he's like, run these. And I was like, nah, I can't do it just yet. But then in 2020, I had a come to Jesus moment. Like, I need to learn these options because there's no reason for me to be an investor with something that I just cannot do. So I started running cover calls on Microsoft specifically. And, you know, I watched some videos on YouTube to kind of get the foundational knowledge. And then I did a cover call. And at that point in time, it was really just and once that light bulb hit, it changed my life almost, right? You know what I'm saying? Like it really put me in a situation or a mindset where I could really change the portfolio returns year over year. And kind of that's where we are right now. Running options heavily, selling calls or cover calls, selling puts, doing net positions, and really trying to run this portfolio value up so 2021 will be as good as 2020. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Any questions for my journey, anything like that?
No. It's pretty, pretty straightforward, man. I threw in a few comments where I felt like necessary. As far as I guess your journey and kind of where it's taking you and other things you're, that you're doing. What do you see for yourself going forward though in 2021? As far as what's the plan there? What are you thinking?
So, I mean, for me, right, I want to continue to run these options. As the group knows, more than anything else, is I'm selling a whole lot of puts right now, and which has been, like I said, super profitable. So I want to continue that. We want to hope that we want the market outlook. I mean, I think with this new administration coming in, the market outlook personally seems to be pretty good, right? I don't see a big drop off. I see stability. That's a better way to put it. I see stability in 2021, and when stability means gains. So I'm going to continue the same strategy. Continue to sell.
You said stability means gains. What?
Right. Stability means gains, in my opinion. That's money. That's money in my pocket on these options, right? So really going to my plan for 2021, I want to continue to sell my puts, continue to accumulate stock as well. Probably get to 100 shares. I mean, I think right now I have a big sell off of Microsoft that I had last year. I want to continue to accumulate some more Microsoft, so then I can run some more covered calls. I think that's the thing I want to really implement this year. If I get the shares, is to run some more covered calls this year.
Are you doing the covered calls right now, Microsoft?
No, I'm not, because I don't have enough shares to do them.
You went back under the.
Yeah, I did a big sell off 2 years ago or a year and a half ago.
Okay. Okay. When you said sell off, I thought you was I misunderstood. I thought you were talking about you sold. I thought you were talking about the stock sold off.
No.
But you mean you sold the shares? Okay.
So much shares in Microsoft. So I want to run those back up to around 100 shares. I think I'm around 61, 62 shares or whatever I'm at right now. And then I want to go ahead and just get those back to a point where I'm able to run my covered calls on Microsoft for sure, so I can continue making additional capital on the back end as well with that 1.7% dividend. So it's kind of the same strategy, that we're running right now, but I want to hit both sides of it right now. I don't have a lot of, so that's kind of what I'm looking for 2021. This month.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Well, it's a wrap. I think next week, guys, we will jump into either exit journey or maybe even mine. Maybe touch base on with us and kind of just introduce ourselves to the to our audience and let everybody know kind of who we are, where we came from, what our experiences have been so far in the market. Mike said he's been doing this thing, what'd you say, 6-7 years now?
It's probably longer.
The number?
2012. So almost 9 years now.
2012. Okay, so almost a decade. So
almost a decade.
Yeah, so almost a decade. So for anybody out there that's interested in getting into the market that just haven't pulled the trigger yet, we're here at Maintain Your Gains. We're a group of guys that's been. We've already kind of took that road to cut. Like maybe if you got questions or if you want to, any questions for any of us, we can kind of jumpstart your trading, because we already did the legwork as far as that 3 or 4 years where you kind of go up, down, and down, and whatever the case may be. Okay. We can jumpstart you past all of that. So
we are you.
I got one question before y'all go.
What you got?
So I know you talked about real estate earlier. Do you ever think that you would get into real estate?
Yeah, I mean, I'm into real estate right now, right? So I have some private equity deals that I'm into currently, which are returning, I think, around 7.7 or 7.2%. I forgot the exact return month over month or year over year, excuse me. So yeah, that's one. Also, I'm doing some gap funding for some real estate investors. I'm always willing to work with anybody in real estate. If you have a project, or if you're doing some house flipping, and you need some capital to run your house flipping, let me know. I'm always available. If the return is well, if it's a deal that we can both benefit to both of us, it's definitely, I'm always there, right? So yeah, real estate is a great opportunity. It's another great avenue. We don't really talk about that as much here. It's mostly stocks to talk about, but yeah, that's definitely an avenue that I think that I do, and I think everybody else should definitely do, especially with the gains that we've made on this specific, using the gains that we made in the stock market to flip that into the real estate market.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I would love to talk to you more about real estate later on.
Yeah, that's cool. Let me know anytime. You know, my phone is always open. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that's all we have for episode 3. We're just trying to keep it, keep the episode short. Don't want to be too extensive for anybody because we know everybody got other stuff to do. So that was pretty much it for tonight.
Yep.
You got anything else, Mike?
I'm good, man. Thanks for coming on the call today. Like I said, we'll be back next week with either Extra Schizo's journey and let them have a conversation for themselves. I'm
a little bit more long-winded than Mike, so you know what I'm saying. Hopefully we can stay under 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how that goes.
I gotta keep you short, man. Hey guys, have a blessed. Like Schizo said earlier, have a blessed Martin Luther King Day. And let's have a great day in the market tomorrow. Let's go for a positive day. Yep.
All right. Appreciate it.
Bye.